There are 50 movies nominated for the 2025 Oscars. I was able to see 26, and today I'm going to be going over my picks and predictions for this award show. So I didn't prioritize the short films, so that drops it down to 35 total. I wasn't able to see all of the international and documentary films, so that's what leaves me at 26. So kicking it off with actor in a leading role, definitely some good competition in this one. My pick is actually going to go to Colman Domingo from Sing Sing. But I feel like Adrien Brody's gonna pull through and get the win. I know there's been some recent stuff recently with Timothée Chalamet after the SAG Awards and his great speech and all of that, but I just feel like it was a little too late. I mean, he definitely did a great campaign and all of that, but I just don't know if people, when I refer to people, I'm gonna refer to the Academy members. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to pull through with getting that for him. However, you never know. Colman Domingo, it would be great to see him, win this type of award. I've been a fan of him for a while. But I don't know, something about it, I feel like it's gonna go to Adrien Brody. Now for lead actress, my pick and prediction are both gonna be going towards Demi Moore from The Substance. I just feel like this was just such a great role. If you guys have been watching my videos for a bit, you know how big of a fan of The Substance I was. Definitely gonna be one of my favorite movies of last year. And I feel like when this kind of award season was going on, she had a speech, I forgot which award show it was from. I wanna say it was the Golden Globes, but I feel like that speech and everything is going to really win over the Academy members for this one. Fernanda Torres from I'm Still Here is probably going to be my honorable mention. I feel like this was such a great performance from her as well. Mikey Madison also had a strong performance in Anora, but I just feel like they're not going to give it to her for this just because I feel like Honora is going to win some other stuff as well. Now for supporting actor, my pick and prediction are both going to go to Kieran Culkin from A Real Pain. He's been sweeping up the awards this season, and I feel like he's just gonna, keep that momentum going and get this win as well. With this being my pick and prediction, I feel like this was just the role I enjoyed the most. Guy Pearce and The Brutalist, that's gonna be a close second. I just feel like there were definitely some parts where, he wasn't as into the movie, and I feel like usually when it comes to these big types of awards, they're gonna give it to the actors that are gonna be more prevalent throughout the entire movie. And with Kieran Culkin being such a major component to A Real Pain, I just feel like he's gonna get this one. For supporting actress, my personal pick would be Monica Barbaro from A Complete Unknown. I feel like she did a great job in this one. Definitely had some good screen presence whenever she was in the different scenes. And just in general too, I feel like this category is a little lackluster. No disrespect to all the other performances, but I just feel like she has a really good one in this one. But with all of that said, my prediction is gonna be going to Zoe Saldana from Emilia Perez. I just feel like, once again, I've been using this kind of thought process with how these other awards have been, going during the season, but I just feel like she's gonna get this one, and it is what it is. It's one of those situations where I feel like the Academy just wants to finally give her some type of award since she's been in the industry for so long, and this is kind of just like an easy kind of cop-out, like here's your award. Now moving on to directing, my personal pick is gonna be The Substance. Once again, I'm gonna have that bias. I feel like Coralie's vision with all of this just, came to life with this, and I was really into just this overall feel of the movie. However, I do think that Honora is gonna take this home and Sean Baker is gonna be the one winning this one. I feel like they're not gonna be winning Best Picture, so this is gonna be kind of that next step, like, hey, you can at least get the best directing. The nominees for cinematography this year were pretty cool because you didn't see as much that were in some of the other categories. So a little honorable mention to Nosferatu in here, as well as Dune Part 2. Definitely some cool looks to those movies. But my pick and prediction for this one is gonna be The Brutalist. I feel like just the way they were able to take very grand shots as well as more close-ups, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, but they were able to make such a good variety of shots and just scale when it came to just everything. There was a lot of emotion that kind of came through the different types of shots, I feel. And just like the previous category, when it comes to film editing, my pick and prediction are gonna go to The Brutalist again. With the movie being, over 3 hours and a half, even having an intermission, the way that it was paced and able to just kind of keep the whole story go along. Of course, it does kind of fall apart a little bit in the second half, but being able to just take so much and keep that long runtime and still have the attention of the audience, I think they're gonna get that win for this one as well. And I could be wrong with this, but I do feel like with this category, they do sometimes give this to whichever film is gonna have the longest runtime. For costume design, my pick would be Conclave. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the film, I think the costumes in here were great, and the unity and just the way everything worked, with the colors and all of that, I think they did a great job with that. But my gut does tell me that they're gonna go with Wicked. I just feel like, obviously, once again, too, when it comes to a movie like that, where there's so much to it, so many different types of characters and looks, and when it comes to all the different, that kind of fantasy aspect, I just feel like there's a lot more variety when it comes to that type of stuff, and that's what the Academy is gonna eat up. Makeup and hairstyling, my pick is gonna be The Substance. I just feel like that it's such a, with it being this kind of body horror film, And especially, you know, in the last kind of 20-30 minutes of the movie. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but you know, there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on, and I feel like this is just one of those movies that it just makes sense to give them this category. However, my prediction is going to go to Wicked once again, similar to my reasoning from costume design. It's going to be one of those movies that, you know, there's so much variety when it comes to that as well. It's just my gut telling me for these two categories, even though I wouldn't like to see it, but it's gonna happen. An honorable mention to A Different Man. I think it was really cool that this was nominated in here, but would have loved to see it nominated elsewhere. Definitely another movie that I enjoyed this year. Production design, my pick would be Dune Part 2, but I do think that Conclave is gonna be the winner for this one. Both of these movies and the other ones here listed, but these two that I'm bringing up are ones that really, you know, have that world that comes to life, you know, throughout this movie. And all of the other aspects that come into it obviously make an impact, but it's the place that you're at and the overall design that really makes you feel convinced and into the movie more than some of these other ones here. Another honorable mention for Nosferatu though. For visual effects, my pick is Better Man. I think it's still such a unique film. The way they were able to do this kind of motion capture CGI monkey and do a biopic with that and really just make this monkey feel like it's its own person. Obviously this is about Robbie Williams and the whole thought process that came behind why he wanted to have a monkey portray him. It just, there's so much to it, and the fact that they were able to pull it off, and you know, there were times that you don't even think of the monkey being like fake. You just feel like he's just there, and that to me is why I would pick that. But I do think that Dune Part 2 might sneak in and get this one. I just feel like Better Man is one of those that I don't know if everyone really watched it, you know, when it comes to the Academy members. That kind of absurdity when it comes to this idea might have been a turnoff when it comes to actually wanting to watch it. And I feel like Dune Part 2 being as spectacular as it was, it might just go to that somehow. But if Better Man won, I'd be hyped. For sound, my pick and prediction are both gonna be for A Complete Unknown. You have the singing going on, the instruments, the crowd, any other ambiance that comes to it through other sound effects. And I just feel like this was the strongest compared to all of the other ones here that were in this category. For original score, my pick and prediction is Challengers. I'm just kidding. I wish this movie would have gotten some type of recognition. The fact that it didn't get nominated for anything was really disappointing to see, and if it were to get nominated for something, I wish it would have been this category, because I do feel like the music just kind of carried and propelled how the whole movie even was. Kind of similar to how Oppenheimer felt. My actual pick though is gonna be The Brutalist, because, you know, this is just kind of the next best option here. But I do think that Wicked is going to be the one to win, with this being, you know, the musical and all of that. I'm hoping it's not Emilia Perez. But yeah, it's just going to be Wicked. It just seems like the obvious choice for a category like this. For original song, I would love to see Like a Bird from Sing Sing coming through and being the one to win this. But with Emilia Perez having two songs in this category, I think it's going to go to Mi Camino, which is the one that was performed by Selena Gomez. Same kind of thing. I just feel like the Academy is gonna be kind of lazy when it comes to this one, and they know that this is a musical. They're gonna go with either of these two, and with Selena Gomez already being kind of in that music space, it's just gonna be the one that people are gonna resonate with more probably. For animated movie, my pick would go to The Wild Robot, because this is the one that I had the most fun with. However, I do feel like this is gonna go to Flow. You know, that's gonna be my prediction, just because it just has a lot of hype around it. It personally wasn't really all that to me. But to those that it did resonate with, I know that they loved it, so that was cool to hear. For the international films, I was only able to see 3 of the 5 for this one. This is the only category that I didn't watch every movie in that I am talking about here. And those two were The Girl with the Needle and The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Those I do plan on watching eventually, but I just didn't get a chance to for this time around. But my pick and prediction are gonna be going to I'm Still Here, the movie from Brazil. I would definitely recommend this movie if you haven't watched it yet. It's the obvious choice when it comes to these movies. I wouldn't be surprised if this one won, and I would be happy if it did too. For adapted screenplay, this was a kind of a tough one for me, because I feel like there's a lot of good stuff in this one, as well as the original screenplay, which I'll get to. But for adapted, my pick is gonna go to Nickel Boys. I feel like this is one that was able to really just take this story and go with it. Of course, the way that the movie was shot, great colors and just everything to it was amazing. But you know, for this one, we're gonna be talking about the writing for it, and being able to take this story and just explain it in such a way was just phenomenal to me. But I do think this is gonna go to Conclave, just based off of how this award season has gone. If Nickel Boys or even Sing Sing won for this one though, I would be so happy. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna go to Conclave. And now for original screenplay, I would love to see A Real Pain win this one, with Jesse Eisenberg being the one behind this. I think it's really cool that he was able to come up with a story like this and turn it into what it did. But my prediction is gonna go to Anora, just like how I felt with the directing. I think that this is gonna be one of those that's just gonna go to Sean Baker. And now for the main ultimate category, Best Picture, with the 10 films here, I would have to pick The Substance. I feel like The Substance winning Best Picture would be insane. It's not gonna happen, but that would just be so cool for me. I think that, you know, a horror movie of this sense being deemed as the, you know, as the best picture that gets looked back on, you know, decades and decades from now, it's gonna definitely change a lot of how the whole landscape is, you know, when it comes to recognizing horror movies and just movies that are really, you know, not afraid to do something new and really just commit to what they're trying to do. But unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. And I don't know why. I really was sitting here and just really trying to think about like what is gonna win, because this whole award season when it comes to this has been all over the place. But the one, you know, just right now when it comes to this, you know, when I'm recording, I think it's gonna go to Conclave. I think Conclave might win Best Picture. It's just something about it. I don't think it's going to go to Anora, and I know that's kind of been one of the favorites, and I don't think it's going to go to The Brutalist, another kind of big one, but they've had some controversy going on. It better not go to Emilia Perez. If that happens, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's going to Conclave. And for those of you who are into fun little stats, my top picked movie throughout this video was The Substance, with 4 different categories that I would love to see it win. And for my predictions, this was actually a 3-way tie between The Brutalist, Conclave, and Wicked, each with 3 different categories. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this, because I think that the award season is really fun when it comes to talking about movies and the whole discourse that comes around it, because you see all types of opinions and it really opens up your mind to just what's out there and how different people perceive the same stuff that you watched. Now we just gotta wait and see what ends up happening next. Thanks for watching.